Hello there. Good morning, everyone. Happy Wednesday. Happy Hump Day. Hope everyone is doing great and fantastic. Dean Kulaweera here. Thanks so much for tuning in. So today is episode 12 of the 360 podcast. I have with me a special guest, Mr. Sariful Islam. He's going to be speaking about the top software testing trends for 2023. So I'm going to be bringing Sariful out shortly. But in the meantime, feel free to say hello in the comments. Don't feel shy. And make sure you also hit us up with a like and a share so that anyone in your network that might be interested in today's topic can get the most out of this session. Again, we're going to be speaking, not we, but Sariful, my guest, is going to be speaking about the top software testing trends for 2023. So maybe you're a QA, maybe you're in software testing, maybe you're aspiring to get into this field. Today is going to be a very informative session, in particular, if that's your situation. So again, definitely make sure you're as engaged and interactive in the comments as well. We got Michael who says good morning. Good morning, Michael. Thanks so much for tuning in. And a quick shout out to everyone tuning in live on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on YouTube, and also Sariful's audience as well, and his members on Facebook and YouTube as well. Welcome to the stream. Uh, so software testing, obviously, QA software testing, this is an area that I have recruited on extensively in the past and recently as a recruiter. So it's always been a field where I've spoken to a lot of QAs, a lot of people in this field, in this area, and I had yet to bring someone, an expert, out to talk about one of the most important aspects, which is the trends in software testing. So just to give you a quick intro regarding Sariful. Now, Sariful is a QA director who has over 11 years experience in software testing domain with extensive knowledge of manual, automation, QA process, and team mentoring, working at different remarkable IT companies such as Google, Exactly, Fleet Complete, Maple, and more. He's also a QA instructor and runs a YouTube channel named Code and Box Automation Lab. And in addition, he runs an amazing Facebook page with over 29,000 people. And the name of the Facebook group is Tech and IT Jobs in Canada. So Sariful is someone who, again, he has a very busy schedule and he's set aside some time to speak with us today. So make sure you give him a warm welcome in the comments, everyone, as he joins us today to speak about this very important topic, again, for those of you who are QAs and in the field of software testing. So with that being said, Sariful, thank you so much for your time. I know you're a very busy person, and welcome to the podcast. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you, Dean. It's my pleasure to be here.
Awesome. So getting right into it, Sariful. Now, obviously many of the people tuning in are probably already QAs or they're already in software testing, but there might be also people tuning in who want to explore this field. So just to kind of lay some foundation, for those people watching who might not be very familiar with the field, what is software testing? And also, if you can explain a bit about what are the responsibilities of a software tester?
Okay, I know we have a very limited time, but I'll try to give a very high-level idea. So software is a very crucial phase in the software testing development lifecycle that involves evaluating and validating software to ensure its quality, functionality, reliability, and the performance. That the primary objective of the software testing is to identify defects, bug as early as possible so that it can fix before it goes to the production. That's the overall, you can say, definition about the responsible for title for software tester. But if I want to pinpoint about it, like some core responsibilities for software testers, making a proper plan, test strategy or test plan. That's creating a detailed, test plan that outlines the testing approach, objective, scope, resources, and scheduling, like different testing activities when they are going to do. So everybody knows that other stakeholders knows what exactly software tester do and when they are going to do. That's one of the number one. And number two, it's designing the case. So based on your test plan, they have to design they have to design or break down the scenarios so that they can write the test cases according to the stories, according to the requirement. And after that's like a test execution. So test execution, that's a core job also for the tester. As per their design, as per their test plan requirement, they have to, execute their test cases. And inside the test case, when they execute a test case, definitely there will be different type of tests. The testing phase, they will be involved. It could be the regression test, it could be the smokes, it could be some functional tests, non-functional tests, performance tests, and so on.
Mm.
And defect reporting, that's another core job. Like after when they execute their test cases, they might found some bugs, the defects, so definitely they have to log and track that bugs so that it can fix whatever the process company, as per the company's process, right? So defect reporting is one of the core things that they have to do. And beside that, in addition, they have to be alert on test environment setups. I mean, some company, they have some extra people who can help to set up the environment, but this is one of the core responsibilities for tester, to ensure that the environment is working, is stable, where they are going to test. Other than, it's not going to work. I mean, if you and your test environment should be very close to the production environment, so that you can replicate, what you have in your production. And test data, which is also important nowadays, in modern era, like when we have a very complex application, so you need to more closer test data to your production, whether it's a dummy data, or sometimes you can get those data from the company's policy, like you can get it from the production, following the company's policy. So those are the, and on the top, beside that, as a, nowadays tester, they have to be work as a team member, like collaboration. They need that skill, work with the product team, work with the DAP team, work with the other stakeholders, service team, support team, so that, they know that exactly, what's exactly the requirement, what's they are getting the feedback from the customer, all those things, right? So collaboration is nowadays, especially in agile, it's very important nowadays. And continuous improvement, in regards to the new technology, your maintenance, all those things, applying different metrics or KPI, and based on that you can verify that how good your process, your quality, and is there any gap that you can, upgrade, all those things. So overall, and also, so tester, they also need to, do their documentation. That's also another important part. Even in Azal, we don't get enough time, but it's still as much as possible the documentation, so that, their process, their best practices, all those things. Overall, I can give you, that's the high level I can tell you, that software tester responsibilities usually in industry.
Yeah, fantastic. And clearly from what you've explained, Sariful, I mean, there's so many different aspects to testing, right?
Yeah.
And obviously, definitely in my conversations with other QAs, the collaboration side is very evident as well. It's something very important for the QA to be able to handle and manage. Now, Sariful, if you can further expand, like why is this field in demand within the tech industry? Like, why is this a hot field?
It's a very good question. We know that there's a tons of people every year they try to enter in software, and it's very demandable, especially like in the I2 umbrella. So software testing field is the demand within tech industry. There is several reasons. I will just highlight some of the big reason. The ensuring the quality. So quality is the top priority for a software, as a product or application. As the technology continues adding more, aspects to our daily lives, user expects software to be reliable, bug free, and easy to use. Who's going to ensure that? That's a quality
Mhm.
comes to the picture, right? So that's one of the things, like, software tester, they ensure the quality of a product, a bug free product. That's, the before it goes to the production. Cost effectiveness, that's a number 2 point. So detecting and resolving the issue during the development phase is more cost effective than fixing them earlier, right? And that's where software tester again comes to the picture, who, nowadays we say it's a shift left testing. So it's been introduce the software tester as early as possible in this development phase, so that they can, find the bug in early stage, and save some cost. Because if you find any bugs later on in a production stage, definitely it will be more expensive. So to save the companies, the cost, it's a software tester comes to the picture. That's why it's very demanding. Evolving technology. So the tech industry is continuously, evolving with the new platforms, the devices, the technologies like AI, machine learning, and so on. Like software tester nowadays, that's why it's play a very vital role in ensuring that application works seamlessly across different environment, operating system, devices too, right? So that's
Correct.
why software testing they needs. And in another trend, like which is we say agility or DevOps practice. So adoption of agility and DevOps methodology has increased in the tech industry. It's most of the company now, they are following the DevOps practice with Agile. And this practice emphasizes frequent software release and continuous integration and deployment. The software testing is integrated in this process nowadays to ensure the software remains available, stable and functionable, and in and each and every iteration. I'm talking about it in Agile, right? So now, software tester, they involve with the Agile, in Agile testing as well as in the DevOps process. So that's why software tester they also need. I mean, if we think about our traditional process, traditional was like software testing was the very last phase of the development,
Yeah.
right? But now it's the scenario's got changed. Now we're not releasing software like once a year. It's every few months there is a release coming up.
Mm.
Even some big companies, say example, say Facebook, they're deploying their code to the production directly every day, end of the day. So how
Wow.
is possible? Right?
Yeah.
So it's the coding, whatever they're coding, it's going to the production directly, because tester nowadays is involved with the automation, involved in the CI/CD pipeline, and it's automatically happen cross-check each and every the deployment code through the different stage of testing, and then it's automatically figure out whether the code is good to go or not.
Mm.
If there is a bugs, it will find it through their automation CI/CD pipeline, and it will say that it's not it's not a good to for the production. Other than it will automatically deploy to the production. So that's why testers comes a very important crucial role nowadays. And also the another point I would say, like security concern, the cyber security threats we all know, they become more prevalent and sophisticated nowadays. The software tester conducts security testing nowadays also to identify vulnerability and strength of the software defense against the potential attack. So
Mm.
that's another also. So nowadays software testers also, they involve with the other type of security testing too. And other than, I can say, like a global market. So in the age of globalization, software products are increased by user worldwide. So software testing is essential to ensure that the application works well for user with the different languages, culture, like geolocations,
Ah, I see.
regional stage. So nowadays, geo testing, geolocation testing, like it's a very important too. So who's going to do it? The software tester also do. And lastly, but not the least, is the automation. So the use of the automation in testing has become very, very popular nowadays, making the testing process more effective, scalable, and also better, the more accurate, I would say, more accurate test coverage. As a result, there is a growing demand of a skilled software tester who can design, implement, and maintain the automation test suites. So overall, I would say, like, the demand of testing professional remains high as the companies recognize that the importance of delivering high quality bug free product to meet user expectation. So that's why the market is very competitive, but demand is high also. Make
Yeah,
sense?
and it's so amazing that the amount of work and how important QAs are and software testers are to a final product. And I think the general public, I don't think they give as much appreciation as they should, for QAs and software testers. Everyone thinks it's the software developers, they do everything, and all of that. But the QAs and the software testers, I mean, they play such a crucial role into a successful product. And like you
I mean,
said, it's iterative as well, right? It's not just you do it one time and that's it. No,
yep,
it's
and it's
ongoing.
ongoing process, and especially in Agile nowadays, yes, definitely developer one of the key part in the development as life cycle, but on the other hand, the QA, it's very important nowadays play roles, because it's still, where it's been, I would say, last 7-8 years now, it's people they shifting to the Agile process.
Mm.
uh, Most of the company, they already adapted the Agile process, but it's still, there is a legacy or waterfall process. The few company they use, probably not more than 2% company. But overall, if you see the our experience about the development phase, the testing integrate at the very last phase. That's what we everybody know. Okay, when development is done, then tester job is they will do it. Uh, so that's why people, they think, okay, testing is not something just they will just click and they make sure that it's working. But that's not the case nowadays anymore.
Yeah.
Those days are gone.
Yeah, that's right. Absolutely. So, go. I guess moving on to the main topic of today's discussion, Sariful, what are you observing as the top software testing trends in 2023?
Uh, Well, it's not only that I would say 2023, it's like the current and in even in the upcoming future, I would say upcoming
Okay.
days. So there are few testing trends, it's caught my attention. That's right now I see in practically, and I can see in upcoming days that can be very demandable or trend, you can say. Number one, shift left testing. So as I earlier said, like shift-led approach, involves starting with the testing activities earlier in the software development lifecycle, like from the
Mhm.
beginning of the requirement. When the requirement they gather the requirement, tester should be involved. Like that's what I practice, and I in my team. They should give review the requirement. They should give you some text, some unclarity, so that they can prevent some of the bug even early stage. And
Right.
that they all know that's what's really requirement is saying, what's the expectation, and which is a part of the agile. It's called definition of ready. So we try to follow, implement the definition ready. It means all your requirements neat and clean, is very consigned, and acceptance criteria is very clear. So
Right.
that's the introducing of the shift left testing.
So
Number
basically, testers are being involved much earlier in the life cycle.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
not only that's like a last phase. It's the beginning of the development cycle.
Okay.
And test automation, next one. The test automation is continuous to demand trend in software testing. Organization are the companies, they are investing automation framework, tools, API, and skills resources to increase testing efficiency, test coverage, reduce human errors, and achieve faster test cycles, definitely, and establish the CI/CD pipeline. So automation nowadays, that's why we can deliver our code, deploy our code every day, because of the automation phase automation. So that's it's a number one, I would say one of the top trend. And next one, it's some company they already started to adopt it, but it's the upcoming days is going to be the very demandable, which is called AI and machine learning in
Yeah.
testing. So artificial intelligence and machine learning are becoming incorporated into the testing practice to enhance test data generation, test case creation and optimization, and defect prediction. So this can help tester to more accurate their process, more in an efficient way to save their time, and it allows to do a lot of even writing your automation code. So it
Mhm.
saves. I have a full one very high level 1 hour and a half. There is a you can say the mock video in my YouTube channels where I shows from the beginning of the end how AI, say ChatGPT, can help you to building your test strategy, create your test strategy. For
Wow.
example, for Amazon.ca, creating test strategy, find out the number of the functionality, core functionality you need to cover, like test plan, then each and every function, how many test cases you should write, and then every test cases, what automation testing tools are available, say whether it's Selenium or Cypress, and then it can write even test cases using a different framework like a test ng and test JUnit and so on. So
Mhm.
you have a framework, everything, you just copy the code and paste on your actual the framework on you. So, and it can even build the report. So it's end to end, your all those things that work at the automation, not only the automation, even the manual testing. So it saves a lot of time, so that is the tester, they can focus on more crucial places where the human interaction need more, some of the complex scenarios. So that's the one thing. And in addition, it can analyze large volume of data such as log files or performance metrics to identify pattern and trend that may indicate the potential problem with the software, within the software. So this can help tester definitely identify issues more earlier, or immediate stage, other than that can be found in a later on stage.
Okay.
So it is one of the started to adopt it, and a lot of company, and it is one of the, I would say, like incoming one of the trend. It's going to be very hot cake in the market. And other hand, um, and other hand, the agile, as I said, agile and DevOps testing. So agile and DevOps methodologies already adapted, emphasize like a continuous integration and deployment, requiring the testing to be integrated seamlessly into the development process. So testing team collaborate closely with the developer to achieve faster delivery cycle. so which is already adopted. But footnote, there is another approach on the top. It's called QA ops, which is means
Oh,
like
interesting. Okay.
quality assurance operation. It's called quality assurance operation, which is a software development approach that combines the roles of quality assurance and operation teams with the developer to ensure that QA team works mutually with the operation team, development team, um, and establish the CI/CD pipeline to achieve superior product quality. So in the current market scenario, QOps, I see that will turn in the next big things. A lot of company have already adopted the DevOps approach, but QAOps is the next jump I can see in the industry. So that's another thing. And then beside that, like the performance testing, it was always viable, always trained in not only the now, even in the previously, but now it's more demanding because nowadays we have all application is cloud based. And especially the e-commerce sites, so we have to figure out, we have to know that application response or behave when there is a, extreme level of load introduced. Like, especially think about the Black Friday or
Mhm.
Boxing Day. How many users they, try to use the access the site, and it's so it gets the most stress. So how the system should behave when you have a maximum load on your system. So that's why performance testing is now also it's very important. And also another one I would say, the rise of cloud and mobile testing.
Mm.
So there may be an increased emphasis on testing in the cloud on mobile devices as more and more software is delivered as a service over the internet. It will be important to ensure that it is robust, scalable enough to handle the demands of distribution. As I said, as a user base. But similarly, uh, you know uh, the the increased demand of mobile devices means that software needs to be tested in different operating system platform, different devices every year. Every company, they're launching number of devices, like even the number of iPhone is coming on the market. So and similarly like Android. So they need to confirm that all those things that the mobile it's supporting all different, not only the working the application, but it's support all different devices, even until uh, some of the old devices too. Because some people they still use the old devices. So that's also it's a rising demand, and it will keep continue, and it will be more effective trend, I would say, testing on mobile. And security testing, I already explained you the security
Yeah.
testing differently. It's a nowadays it's a cyber security, since people we spend most of the time in online nowadays, other than with our family even. So
Yeah.
whether you are work or as a user, so there is a security threat always up there. So that's why security is involved, takes a very high level, high priority trend in the software industry nowadays. One more thing, I would say, microservices, services testing. So before we talk about, since this is the one of the core topics, so I'm taking a little bit longer time up here. You
Yeah.
can
No problem.
remind me, like if you
No problem.
So microservicing testing. So before we talk about the microservicing, we need to know a bit more about the microservicing architecture, how it works. So basically, microservices architecture is a software development method that aims to break down an application to isolate key functions, each of which is called service. These services are designed to responsive to a specific and unique business need. For example, I would say order management, or you can say shipping service, payment. Each and every service it's totally isolated and independent, or sending a notification. In addition, they're independent, as I said, and also they're modular, so allowing each to develop and deploy without affecting to others. So you can deploy individually, without affecting other module, or you can say the function. So
Okay.
this type of architecture is the totally opposite of the our traditional monolithic architecture. So back in those days, we used to build a whole system as a one unit, and it used to
Mm.
deploy it. And if your application is huge, then it's deploying is a problem, and also maintenance is a problem, and there is a lot of dependency because you have a co-function. One function should work with other functions, so there is a lot of dependency. That's why especially the big company, big application try to break down their system, divided as a trend as a microservices. so that they can individually they can deploy.
Right.
So testing, this microservice is very good as per the development phase, the development thinking. But for a tester, this is also there is a challenging, because you have to do a integration testing to make sure that your each and every function they're working together. When they're together, they're working
Right.
together as expected. So you have to make sure all of the services are ready at the same time. But in the considering microservices, probably it's not, because the developer, they know that they are developing all the services, each and every service is isolated independently. So there shouldn't be have any dependency. So doesn't mean that it means like probably they are not ready other the component of the microservices. But as a tester, you have to confirm that all other services are ready at the same time, so that especially when you do the integration testing. So it is crucial, but it is very demandable. And it's a lot of big company, they are picking up this microservices technology nowadays. They're
Right.
building their software based on this architecture. And another one I would pick up, it's geolocation testing.
Mhm.
Since we are using apps, say the Google Map or wherever you go, so this app should work, when you cross any geolocation as per a different reason. It should work when you cross the border from Canada to US states. It should trigger the states map. It should give
Yeah.
you the notification, like just the last 2 weeks ago I went to the USA. So when I cross the border of US to Canada, it's giving me the notification, welcome to Canada. So it
Yeah.
knows that, right? So somebody have to test it to make sure that when you cross the border, you change the geolocations, it's notify you. It's give you the notification. It changed the language. When you go to the Quebec, it's supposed to support the French language.
Yeah.
So it is now. It's nowadays. It's very important, and a lot of companies, not only the federal government, the apps, but also now there's a lot of, like, even in the health sector. I mean, I used to work in the health sector, so I know there's some of the part of the health sector's application, they should support geolocations, like in regards to language, and the different regions that supports, so wherever you are in the world. So that's another is a good important trend nowadays, and it will be more demandable, more and more. So because we're living in the global age, so your
Yeah.
app works
Exactly.
everywhere,
Yeah.
right? And then lastly but not the least, I would say, there is another approach. We used to do more than right now, but still it's effective. It's called shift right testing and monitor. So shift right is a testing in the production after you deploy the code in the production. Sometimes you need to test on the production too, which is not ideal case or not advisable. But in some case you have to do, if your application is very dynamic application, and it has a different configuration for different stakeholder, like you have a different customer, and they're based on their demand, you build their application, implement. So implementation is the different, so when you test, before deploying the code, it means that you have some standard, test design based on that you are testing, but you don't know exactly when you deploy. Maybe it's working for customer A, but maybe it's not working for customer B, because they have a different rules and regulation. They're so that's why shift right, which is also, I would say, it's a part of like monitoring, you know testing also still is a demand. uh, but it's getting less day by day, and we don't encourage people to do to frequently test in the direct production. So those are the very high level trend I can say. It's a demanding current, and few of them it's upcoming days also.
No, it's amazing, and obviously, I mean, these are very very exciting opportunities, right, for people. So, Sariful, what would you say? Like, what can testers, as well as aspiring testers and QAs, what can they do to ensure they're able to take advantage of these trends? Like, any tips and advice from you?
Yes, definitely there is a, I will give you a number of tips. Number one, continuous learning.
Mm.
So, if your career, I always say, my students, I have a tons of students, I always say, so, like, you work in IT, what you will get, you will get a good respect, your good benefit salary. But the bad thing is that sometimes the bad things, you are students forever.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so you have to continuously, you have to learning, you know to stay up to date with the latest trend tools and technologies in the software testing or the market. participate in a webinar, workshop, conference, and even nowadays it's online courses to enhance your skills and knowledge. Then the number two, automation skills. Again, it's the automation nowadays. Testing, it means now it's automation. We cannot think test our skills without automation. So invest your time in a learning test automation tools, frameworks. Automation is a really critical skills in modern testing, and this is number one of the criteria in job. When you hire someone, we see this whether you have what type of automation skill you have. It can align with the company's requirement, or even not, but you have some sort of skills, so you can adapt it.
Mm-hmm.
Number three, it's like embrace the agile and DevOps. I already explained the DevOps, the agility. So I would say more than 95% company nowadays, they all use agile methodology. So you have to be, need some sort of experience, or need some sort of like get to used to what is the agile frameworks. In agile frameworks, how the software life cycle turn on, how it's move on, where the tester comes in the picture, and what's their the process usually, because the time is very crucial in an agile. So you have to know that those things. If you're working in traditional, don't make that this is the best practice that we use. So agile and DevOps, understand that. And familiar with the AI and machine learning. I know it is an upcoming trend, but a lot of companies they started. Even I started to started the practice in my own team. They're
Mm-hmm.
using the Chat GPT. Why not?
Yeah.
Find out in the critical functionalities. Within just few minutes. Other than you do the brainstorm, definitely human interaction needs, but it can give you the high level idea, that scenarios like, and on the top you will spend a little bit time, it will give you the better coverage, right? You can spend more time on find out the breaking point, or edge point, right? So that's why it's AI, and this is the trend. This is the technology, whether it's a software development, testing, wherever you go, in IT industry, this is the trend. Everywhere it will be touched. And performance testing, so get to know some of the performance tools. It's very important nowadays. There is a number of free API market is available. So you can learn those things using any language. And then nowadays most of the tools is comes with the language. It's about different multi languages. So whatever the language, based on that, you can develop your automation, you can develop your performance testing too. Mobile and cloud testing, again, so we're living in the cloud era right now. Everything is in the cloud. Wherever you go, your app goes with you, and also your mobile. So since the vast majority of people, they use the mobile and in a cloud environment. So you get to know, like, we're able to test, or we know that we have the knowledge, how to test in a cloud environment, how to test in a mobile, both in iOS and Android. And it could be specifically in a mobile, cloud environment. You can say IoT, that's another things, Internet of Things, right? So IoT, like whatever we use, the Alexa, the Google Home, all are IoT, right? Sending a small package and your command as a package, and it works like one networks, and everything's working behind the scene on a cloud platform, right? So you get to know that, and it will be more, because we're coming. It's a coming days. It's robotic days is coming up. It is, everything is going to be like it's a part of the IoT.
Yeah.
And security testing, learn security testing, definitely. Shift left, definitely. When you are going to learn or understand the agile, make sure that you understand the shift left, because shift left is introduced when the agile comes to the picture. So both have a correlation with that. Communication is skills. That's also an important part. I mean, this is communication is very from the beginning of the industry. You always have to be good in communicate with the product owner, with the developer, a service team, support team, so that you know what's they're looking for, the customer looking for, what's the requirement, and what's you can ask them, in on time, that so that you can clear all of that, you can tag all of the unclarity. So you have to be very good in communication,
Mm-hmm.
right? And especially in agile, since we are very limited in time frame. So if you don't speak up on time, then you have to be suffer on later
Yeah.
stage, right? So it's a communication. And the lastly, but I would say one of the big things, a lot of people they overlook that, it's a networking.
Ah.
So build a professional network, I would say, within the software testing community. Engage in an online forum, and attend some of the meets, like you arrange a very fantastic, fabulous, you step in and you arrange this, but this will help a lot of people. So you spend a little bit time, go there, understand and listen, from the who are expert, right? So give some of the advice, and ask the questions, like nowadays, it's everything's in your pocket. So all you have to be just spending your time, on not, I don't want to mention that it's Facebook or other social media like we spend a lot of times, but it's spent up there. It's, you don't have to go outside, right? And so that you are always up to date, you're always informed about the technology, all those things. So networking is very important, I would say, nowadays. So those are the very key advice that comes on my mind when I think about, like, whoever is like thinking to the changing their career, or they are uh, fresher, even if it's experienced people. As an experienced, I do those things, I follow those trending, I try to keep myself up to date, I try to build the network. So that it's for everyone. This is a very generic, I would say, the experience that I can share, or advice I can share.
Yeah, that's fantastic advice, Sariful. And I especially like what you mentioned about the first one, continuous improvement mindset, because there's a saying, change is the only constant in life, and I think in IT, like that's what it was like, that phrase was made for IT, because if you don't change, if you don't adapt, you're in trouble.
Yeah.
And also the networking aspect, it's so important, and I think people don't take it as seriously as they should, because it's extremely important. Now, what are, obviously you shared these amazing trends that people can look out for, but based on those trends, Sariful, as we kind of wrap up the discussion, like what do you think will be the top, two or three challenges for software testers as they attempt to adapt to these trends?
uh, let's say that I will give you very the top two as I feel the challenges. Number one, I would say the automation complexity and maintenance. We all know the automation is number one choice nowadays for a tester, or for a testing experience. However, this is not easy. It is a crucial, because of the application complexity. So we have day by day, we're resolving a lot of complex issue through our application. So so architecture behind the scenes, development, of that application is very complex. Scenario is very complex. Uh, so automation example I can give you, like we always use mobile app. So in a mobile app, say Facebook. So if you want to register as a new user, if you click on register, it takes you the web view from your mobile view. So it's a two different frameworks. We are using always, but we don't think, like, the complexity behind the scenes, how it works, like together, the web view and mobile view, that's a two different view. But
Yeah.
when you do automate, your automation script should cover this scenario too. Like it should, switch from a mobile view to the web view, and then they should validate all of your registration form, all of the field, and then when it's done, you come back to your mobile framework. So switching back and forth in two different framework is not easy. Even sometimes it's more depth, like when you go mobile view to the web view, and like another web view. Inside a web view, you click on another button, it's open another child window, like another web tab. So you have to go up there. So this is a very complex scenarios. Or when you nowadays, like when you log into your account, it's give you the a two-layer verification, like it send you the like one-time password that you have to enter at the beginning, like especially all of the bank account, like all of the financial account, right? So this is a one-time generated passwords. It's sent through your text, which is out of your scope. So how you are going to tackle those kind of things if you want to automate? So it is very demandable, but it's for the complex, yeah, scenarios, it is a challenging too. And also its maintenance is not easy. So there's for automation, you will spend a lot of times for to maintain your automation. So you have to be always in a brush up your skills. You have to be study, you have to make sure that you're hungry, your hunger to learn the new stuff. How to definitely there is a way. There is a way. There's a new technology, there is a add-on, there is a number of plugins that can help you, but you have to know. So that's why you have to spend the time. That's one challenges, I would say. Number two, again, continuous learning and skills update. So the rapid evolving landscape of software testing require tester to continuously update. We know their skills, their knowledge, Keeping up with the latest trend, tools, methodologies, may demand significant effort to remain competitive in the job market. So you have to, no matter what, where you are, you have to be always up to date in the market, to compete with the other candidate. The market it has the demand, but there's a tons of candidate also. You have to remember that. You
Yeah.
know, so that's continuous another things. That's a two challenge. As a lot of people, they see the good part, they see the bright part. Okay, it has a good salary, it has a good respect, but a lot of people, they don't think like, to earn that you have to spend time. Not only there's a one time, you have to, it is a continuous process, right? You have to be a student again, you will have to be students forever. That's the things. And uh, and the lastly but not the least, I would say, like a security testing. It's taking very important challenge nowadays. Security was not that big trend back in those days in testing industry, but now it's taking more important role, especially all of the financial industry.
Mm.
If you want to hire a tester, the first things they want to know, like, you have some sort of knowledge or experience about the security testing, like penetration testing, whether it's you do black box testing or you do some automation for the security, but you need that kind of things. So those are the uh, first two things is the most challengeable, I things, the maintenance, the automation complexity, and the continuous learning things.
Amazing, amazing advice there. Thanks so much, Sariful, for sharing that. And for folks watching, by the way, if you have any questions for Sariful, feel free to put them in the comments, and we'll see if we can get a couple of your questions answered before we wrap it up. But so, Sariful, can you? Obviously, you have created this amazing group on Facebook. Can you please tell us more about your IT group and how you can help QAs and others in the tech industry?
Okay. I will give you a number of the platform I try to build to help not only QA but also any other the people who are looking for IT help. So number one, so YouTube channels. I have a YouTube channel, as you have earlier says, like the name is called Code and Box Automation Lab. So if you go youtube.com/Code and Box Automation Lab, you will find it. So I have overall like 300 lectures about the QA process, QA learning, roadmap, manual testing, Agile frameworks, into automation frameworks, from the scratch for whatever the trend right now, like Selenium, Cypress, WebDriver IO, it's ongoing on APM for the mobile testing, and so on, and even including the API testing. In addition, you will find some, the package tutorial for Java, JavaScript, SQL, GitHub. I mean, just naming. So
Mm.
I try my best, as much as possible to keep up to date up there. And those are all free. You can find it through the my YouTube channel. That's number one. Number two, it's Code and Box Automation. I have another blog. You can say e-learning platform, which is called codeandboxautomationlab.com. codeandboxautomationlab.com. So if you go over there, you will find tons of articles, blogs related again QA, software process, methodologies, automation, manual testing, and more. Whenever even a different feature upcoming, what's the market right now, what's the trend, with different technologies, all those things. Whenever I get a time, whenever I see something that I can share my knowledge and it can be benefited to people, especially the people I know, for my direct student, even the people I don't know across the globe who ping me all of a sudden, hey, can you help me about it? Can you help me about it? Then I try to make a, some sort of like article or blogs, give them an answer, and it's published up there so that everybody, other people, they can be benefited too. So that's another platform, the e-learning platform. And the number three, it's a uh, I have a group in Facebook. The name is Tech and IT Jobs in Canada. So I have over there 31K. Sorry, I told you 29, but it's within a day it added
Oh, that's
2,000
amazing.
people. So 31K right now updated up there. It's all about, you know uh, helping people to find their jobs. It is like you can say one stops place where there's a recruiter, there is a candidate. So recruiter, they share the jobs or opportunity, and candidate, they find their, their search their opportunity. It's like, uh, job platform, but it's not only that. We share, we talk, we discuss different topics in regards to the market, what's the market situation right now, what should we do, even if there is someone they need to refer or get to understand about. If someone going to interview said, hey, do you know, is there anybody working on that company, so just sharing and helping people as much as possible. And this is a free platform too. and and
And
on the
will those links be on your website, codeandboxautomationlab.com, Sariful, or where can?
yes, codeandautomationlab.com, you will find everything. Yes, you will
Oh, okay.
find YouTube
Okay.
channel also up there. And also you will find on the right side, there is a little frame. Inside that you will find there is an ad for my Facebook page group too. So codeandboxautomationlab.com is the one place you can find everything. So you'll see the free tutorials. If you click any one of the free tutorials, it will take you to our YouTube channel. And the last but not the least is like, I also provide QA mentorship service where I people, they can learn and upgrade their QA automation skills, the professional resume build, the job interview guidance support. So in directly that I provide, because I see this a lot of people that comes, they ask me that. So I that's why then I said, okay, let's combine a few of the people, let's run as a batch, like, so that I can directly help them. So that's another things, the help that I provide. So overall, those are the few things within my schedule I try to fit in.
Awesome. That's amazing. And you give so much back to the community, and that's such a huge thing, because I think more people should do that. So it's amazing that you're doing that. So folks, make sure you check out codeandboxautomationlab.com. It's the one that I've put on the screen here. So check it out. All the links to connect with Sariful and learn more about how he can help you is on the website. Sariful, how about for people who want to connect with you on social media? Like, is LinkedIn the best place, or what do you suggest?
Yeah, two places. It's also in social media, the LinkedIn number one definitely, and the YouTube channel. So that's the two places. I'm very active. I'm very proactive up there. You can ping me anywhere. You can connect or follow me up there. Whatever you have. So I will try my best to respond to you.
Awesome, fantastic. So, if you have a couple of minutes, Sariful, we have a question from one of the viewers. So we have Fami. Fami says, as a tester, what will be my focus area to do security testing manually, or which area is mandatory to focus vulnerabilities?
Well, for security testing, I mean, for manually, for security testing, there is a two part. It's called penetration testing. There is a black box testing, the manually you can do, and there is a automation also in security testing. So at the beginner, so I would say learn the manual testing, how you can perform the penetration testing. And after it, still it's security testing on testing trained manual, for because as a tester they don't expect that a tester will do all the security testing, all the security coverage, all different factors. But there is some guideline, there is some key pinpoint the area the tester need to test to ensure during the security testing. So go for the penetration. You can search on online penetration testing, and then you will find that there is a manual or black box testing, how to perform that. You can do it, and there is a number of tools also available in the market. So you can use any one of the tools, and then do some practice.
Awesome. So Fami, hope that helps. Let us know in the comments. We got not really a question, but this comment from Habibur says automation is the must-have. So yeah, I also wanted to ask you, like, this is more of a question from myself, Sariful. Like, every now and then I do speak with QAs who are mostly, like, their experiences in manual testing. Like, should they be picking up automation testing? Should they be further honing that skill set instead of mostly doing manual testing?
To be honest with you, it sounds probably a little bit, I mean, is heartbroken, but this is the reality. You have to pick up, you have to know the automation nowadays. If
Yeah.
you are not, still, if you're not, picking up or learning, I can tell you, over the next 5 years, you'll be out of market. Not 5 years, probably over the next 2 years, it will be very difficult to find a job for you. So no matter what, if you want to stay in it, whether you are in experience or you want to a fresh graduate, you want to in the testing field, you have to learn some sort of like automation.
Yeah, that's I think that's great advice, because even as a recruiter, like, what I'm seeing is everything is requires automation testing. I can't remember the last time I recruited on a role where it was mostly on the manual testing side. So that's great advice there. One final question also from myself, just going back to what you talked about, AI and machine learning. I know some people out there might be wondering, well, AI, does this mean that eventually it's going to replace QAs and software testers? Any final thoughts on that, Sariful, for people who might be worried about that?
For me, no. It will, it will speed up. It will help you to save your time, but it will not, replace the human interaction or tester. The reason why I can tell you, so as an example, I mean, if a people, if you go to my YouTube channel, you'll see the first tutorial. It's about the AI. I mean, which using the Chat GTP, I developed the whole automation script from the beginning, from the developing the test plan at the end of the reporting that you can do. So, but you have to use those things on your automation framework, on your actual frameworks. And who's going to do this? That's, you have to do it, and you have to know even, and you need the skills to use those things. It will speed up your process, it will save your business hours, right? So that you can focus on other stuffs, more complex stuffs. And there is some complex scenario that's still, I don't think so, like it's possible to verify at least next 5 years through the AI or machine learning, some complex scenarios for the complex application. So there will be always need and demand for the QA. But yes, the truth is that you have to up to date yourself so that you can use those things. Because company, they wants to, implement the AI, get the benefit from the AI. So definitely, why not? So like, if your automation can help you to save 70 to 80% for regression testing, and if AI introduce and save another 10%, why not? So to get
Yeah.
the benefit, you have to keep up to date yourselves. So that's my, the last thing. So don't worry about it, but make sure that you concentrate and focus on learning.
Awesome. Great advice there. So, Sariful, thanks so much. I know we went a little bit over, so thanks so much for spending time with us and all the information you shared. Folks watching, if you found value in this segment, make sure you like it, you reshare it with your network as well. And again, for more information about Sariful and all the various avenues he uses to help people, check out codeandboxautomationlab.com. Thanks again, Sariful, and everyone tuning in. Thanks so much. Hope everyone has a fantastic week, and I'll see you around next time. Thanks so much,
Thank,
everyone.
thank you so much, Dina, and thanks for everyone who participated, or even we'll see on later on in an online. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.